So we're exploring the mystery of the missing amphitheater at Champoeg State Park. So just remember, we are the stories we tell, and please subscribe down the trail. Some places are a vortex to history and mystery, and Champoeg is one of those places. If you're looking for Oregon history, Champoeg has it. And mystery, it has that too. You might expect, well, I'm talking about the 1800s, but no. This mystery and this history starts with the early history of the park and the missing amphitheater. In the 1930s, Oregonians tried to get the federal government to fund an amphitheater at Champoeg State Parks, and the feds said no. Jump to the early 1980s. A group of people who loved the idea of Champoeg having an amphitheater and loved Oregon history, and they said, let's put on a show and raise money for an amphitheater for the park. And so the Champoeg Historical Pageant was born. Locals played the part of mountain men, Dr. John McLaughlin, Joe Meek, Native Americans and pioneers, and it ran from 1982 to 1989. And it was surprisingly, crazily successful. Thousands of people came to the park and paid a few bucks to park and a few bucks for a show. In 1987, the pageant became the official historical pageant of Oregon statehood. Really, I'm not kidding. That wouldn't happen today. So they did it. They raised the money for construction for the permanent amphitheater, and by 1983 it's a reality. So, where is it? Well, that's the mystery. And why isn't it in use? That's the mystery. And I'm going to give you the rest of the story. So in there, it's evidence and relics of what happened. In the 1990s, it was decided the best way to raise money for the park and to pay for the upkeep of the amphitheater was to hold rock concerts in the park's new amphitheater. The concert promoters would charge admission and the park would charge $3 for parking. It would be like printing money. Can't miss. So you can see they used to have look at the names of these bands, and they used to be at the Champoeg Park. Amazing. These are amazing.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Not found love.
Those are awesome. Those are incredible. All used to be at the park. But it didn't miss. But not in the way you might think. The concerts were sold out. That's good. The crowds were enthusiastic. The music was loud. Here's the problem. Lots of people wouldn't pay the $3 parking. Concert goers parked for miles on both sides of the road and plugged up traffic from Champoeg all the way to Butteville and to Newburgh. Other problems. Music was so loud that the neighbors of the park complained. I know we did. The concert goers were big-time litterbugs, and they left trash everywhere, and the promoters did not feel responsible for the cleanup. The overworked rangers at the time were left with the task of cleaning up the trash. So the park got the trash, but no cash. And if you look behind me, look at this road. Champoeg Road is like narrow and windy, and no fog line, and almost no shoulder. Thousands of cars parked on both sides of the road. A traffic nightmare for miles. What were people thinking? A 2-mile walk to the concert on a dangerous country road? Save a few bucks? Oregonians have been making Oregon weird for a long time. So without rock concerts and no pageant, and no parking fee revenue, there really was no need for the amphitheater. So the mystery, where is it? So in front of me and down this little short service road is the amphitheater. It sits like a decaying ancient ruins, weathering and covered in blackberries. It's an object lesson and a metaphor on Oregonians' relationship to Oregon State Parks and their funding. Oregonians in the 1980s and 1990s loved the amphitheater in its pageant and the entertainment, but didn't want to pay for parking, i.e. the maintenance and the cleanup. Fast forward to 2026. Oregonians love their state parks, but not a dime of tax dollars to fund them. Only parking fees and state lottery pays for the state parks. Crazy. So how to fund the Oregon state parks? Now that's a real mystery down the track.